Hey everybody, it's Samantha from Samantha's Designs. I got a couple of cards for you today. Typically, I am one of those people who is always doing Christmas cards at the last minute. This year has been the exception. I did do my Christmas in July, which allowed me to get my Christmas cards done pretty quickly. And so I'll link that video down below if you want to kind of look at my Christmas cards I did, and also we'll link my blog post. But if you're like me, and the typical, what I'm usually doing is I'm doing things at the last minute. So I've learned to do things that I'm mass producing needs to be simple, quick, and pretty flat to mail so that there's not a lot of bulk. And so that's pretty much what I do. And so I'm going to show you a couple of cards today. The first one we're going to do is this one. I don't know if you can see the entire thing. Let me zoom out and come out a little bit more if I can. Sorry for my messy desk. But this one is a pretty simple design, but we'll do it together. This is stamped at the bottom. This is some metallic washi. And then these are die cuts that I just layered on top of each other with a very simple sentiment at the top. So you could do something really simple like this, not much to it. Or one of the other things I've done, or that I think is really cool to do, is really pretty much letting your pretty pattern paper that you buy do all the work. So this is just pattern paper. Again, the foiled washi tape as a backdrop, and then I used a die cut from Spellbinders to cut out this, and I just heat embossed my sentiment. And this says, "Wishing you a very Merry Christmas." And I don't know about you, but this is what got me started in stamping and doing card making, and then led to scrapbooking and other paper crafts. It was this lovely magic of embossing powder, and I still love it to this day. So these are two really simple cards. I've always liked the craft and red combo together, so I'm starting with craft card bases. So I'm just taking some Recollections craft cardstock that's 8.5 by 11. Very simple, making my card bases. These are both of these were, oh, sorry about that, keep getting that, top folding cards. So, just gonna cut this. I'm gonna go ahead and score both of them as well. I have a scoreboard and I use it quite a bit. And I'm not gonna be in frame for this, sorry guys. And let's see if I can get it where it's a little more in frame, maybe. Then again, maybe not. There we go. A little better. But I don't get my scoreboard out unless I'm going to be doing a lot of scoring. And if I was going to do this, I would really do this assembly style. So I would do all my die cuts first. I would do all my card bases with the scoring and folding, and then stamping all at one time, embossing all at one time, and then just pretty much assemble the cards in the sitting as well. That's just kind of how I do it. Everybody has their own way of how they make cards, but that really works for me when I'm doing a mass production of the same card over and over. So I'm just furnishing my score. So here are my two card bases ready to go. Alright, let's do the striped one at the bottom first. So I have this lovely stamping tool. It is by Stamp Perfect, Hampton Arts. I'm one of those people, I've told you this before, I don't jump on stamping crazes right when they come out. I usually wait for a version that's has a better price point, or wait till I find something on sale and have a little extra money, whatever the case may be. But I don't necessarily go straight away and buy the latest and greatest tool. And you know what? I didn't get a craft card base for this. Hold on just a minute. I'm hoping I got a craft card base left. I do. Okay. So this one, I'm kind of putting at the top. And this little mark is where I was stamping before. So that helps me kind of know where I want to put this to begin with. I'm actually going to take this other stamp off so I don't get it. Now this I'm using Brilliance Moonlight White for this. So you only have to do this, well, what happened if I took the paper off? The plastic part off. I'm only doing, let me show you the very top portion of this, because that's the only part. I'm only doing half of the card base. I am not doing all the way up. So this is an old stamp. I believe it's Technique Tuesday, if I'm remembering correctly, and I have too many things on my desk to do what I want to do. There we go. Had it forever, and I love it. It is actually supposed to be a stamp that is mimicking a ribbon, and it actually has a buckle that comes in the set as well. And I've used it that way too, but I've used it more this way, creating plaid backgrounds or whatever. In this case, striped. But it works, and I love it. I've always loved this. This is one of those when I destashed. I think it was like last summer. I got rid of a lot of stamps that I had for years and years and years, because I also tend to keep everything, or try to as much as possible. But I finally got rid of a lot of things. But this is one of these older stamp sets that I just kept because I love it, and I've used it over the years for multiple things. So it's good to take your stamps out, look at them, see if they can serve a different purpose than maybe what they're supposed to. If it's making backgrounds, whatever. It's nice to see that stamp be used again and again, and in different ways. Okay. And I am using this white mark down at the bottom basically to help me guide where I want the next image to stamp. Now you can set this to the side and let it heat set, or you can use your embossing gun. And I probably will use the embossing gun today, because I want to make sure it gets dry, because this Brilliance pad usually stays a little bit wet longer. Okay, let me grab a, sorry guys, keep hitting the thing. I use baby wipes a lot, and a lot of people do that, to kind of clean my stamps and clean my everything that I want and keep it nice. So I'm going to put this away for just a minute. We'll come back to that to do the other card. All right. I'm going to grab my heat gun. Now my table is plastic, so I tend, I'm going to do this off camera, guys, sorry, but I just want to just kind of making sure this dries quickly. Okay. Next thing is I'm going to bring in my guillotine cutter, because I want this to have a little bit of a red border. So I'm just going to cut off just a little bit. Here, and I think at the top as well. Maybe a little bit at the bottom, because Oops, sorry. I didn't really cut anything that time. What am I doing? Hey, there we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to make a layer for the red part. And yes, I do have 2 different jars. Because you just need 2 different trimmers. I do for this longer stuff, but I like my Gillantine because it helps. This, I'm just doing this at 5.5 by 4 1/4. It helps this trimmer, the blade, stay sharper longer because I'm not using it as much because I do cut a lot of paper, people, a lot of paper. Okay, so this is going to go on here like this. But first, so this is some of this foil washi that I have. I love it. I've used quite a bit of it on some recent projects, but I still have tons of it left. I'm telling you, I have so much washi, and I use it, and I'm trying to challenge myself all the time to use it on projects, and I do. And I still have tons of it left. Alright, got the backer off. And I'm going to put this. And this is very nice. It has a little bit of areas where it's kind of scarred looking, but I just like it. I think it makes it look really, really nice. Okay, so there's that. Now I went ahead and did my die cutting offline for you guys, so I wouldn't have to fuss with that much. These are some little evergreen dies, evergreen bough dies, I guess that's what I want to say. And I'm glad I picked, and I didn't do it on purpose, I think I just got lucky, but I picked cardstock that doesn't have a white core. If you did, you would probably have to go and maybe ink the edges a little bit. And all I'm doing is just trying to give it a little crease with my fingers, just because it'll make it a little bit more dimensional, even though this is going to go in an envelope and be mailed flat. It's still kind of cool looking to have a little bit of dimension, and maybe it won't get too smushed. For this, I'm using my Zig. You can use whatever adhesive you want to, and I'm only putting adhesive on the middle portion, because that's kind of the part that I really want to stick well. And I just kind of hold it in place for a while. And I eyeball it, but whatever I think is the middle is where I put it. I'm not big on, I love the people who have the mats on their work surface and they measure it and they're so precise, and I think that's so cool that they do that. But I don't do it. It's too much work. Uh-oh. Come on, stick. Stick, stick, stick. Yeah, you have to kind of hold these down a little bit for them to stick. And then I love the Zig, but it gets sticky, and it sticks to me, and it sticks to everything. These holes in the middle of this die are basically to make kind of your own stackable tree, which I think is really cool, but I'm not going to probably use it for that. I bought this just for this kind of thing where I could make a wreath or a bough, evergreen bough like this, little sprigs. And I'm kind of crisscrossing this a little bit. Again, just trying to build it up a little bit. And then these come with 3 perfectly sized red dots. Now on my red dots, I did add a little white gel pen to it. And I'll show you that in a minute when I do it. You could also, I was looking at these going, oh, that would be really cool to, if you want to get fancy and you have the time. Mass producing, I don't usually do all these little things, but you could put some crystal effects on it and give them a little bit of shine and stuff. Also using some, Scott Stain, dude. Some shimmer paper would be really pretty with this. Give it a little bit, you could use your Wink of Stella maybe. However you wanted to do it. So I'm just kind of clustering these together. Okay. Oh, turn my glue pen a little pink. Alrighty, so have that done. So let's, also, I'm using a Merry Christmas stamp on this. And that was, oh, sorry. That was from, what stamp set? I don't think it's a Hampton Arts from, yeah, it's Recollections. This is a Recollections. It is called, does it have a name? Don't think it has, Merry Christmas. And didn't get it this year. I think I got it last year or maybe the year before now. Because I usually lose time. And I need my block. And, ooh, I picked it up. Gonna use some Memento black ink. Ow! My toe. This one I just use a block. I don't. Again, just eyeballing it. Ta-da! Very simple card, but I'm liking it. Where's my stamp? Okay. Now, again, you can use whatever adhesive to do these things you want to do. And my desk is so messy. I'm having a really difficult time finding anything on it today. So I apologize. I thought I had everything out. Oh, here it is. And then, alas, I don't. Okay, now this is just going, again, put some there you go. All done. Okay, that's that one. All right. Next card. So we got card base. Put this here. Card base, again, this paper is really doing all the work. So 4 1/4. So we want this to be 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm gonna have to guess at the 5 1/4 because I don't have mother. All right, so we have this. What I do for this, and I'm going to use silver this time. Last time I used gold. But I'd already kind of made my mind up I was going to use silver. And my silver is getting low, so I have been, I've been using my stash, people. And this cardstock, this is from a collection that is really old. I'm trying to see if I still have it out. Hold on one second. Okay, here it is. This is actually a paper pack I got in a Blog Candy, way a long time ago. It's American Crafts. Is that American Crafts? I think so. It's called North Country Collection. It is really old. And I've used paper out of this, but it doesn't look like I have because there's still plenty. Okay, so I am just eyeballing this, making sure I have enough for each side. Uh-oh. Tag on it. Didn't really want to do all that. Okay. Okay. There's very little of that left now. But that's okay. I'm sure there's more out there somewhere I can buy. Hey guys, I did go to the Dollar Tree today. You would be so proud of me. I only spent $8. And $2 of the dollars things were for stocking stuffers. And then the rest of it was glue and some bubble mailers because I was out and I didn't realize I was out of bubble mailers, which they didn't have many. People this time of year clean out the bubble wrap. I'm going to tell you what they do. And I don't blame them. It's cheap. It's not, they're nice bubble wraps. Easy to pop into your Dollar Tree and then pop out. The only problem with this washi is it is so dang hard sometimes to get the backer off. Okay. So any of this that overhangs, all I do is just snip it off. I'm not good at snipping off things straight, but something this small I usually do okay. And if I have a little overhang, I'll just kind of tuck it. Trying to stay in frame, guys. I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm doing while I'm doing this. It is not easy. People who do YouTube all the time, like Jennifer McGuire and Christina Warner, and oh, there's so many of them out there that I watch. I'll make this look so stinking easy. But it's not real easy, in my opinion. And then talking while you're doing it, they edit and they'll go back and do voiceovers and stuff. I'm not that fancy yet. I don't know that I'll ever be that fancy because it takes a lot of time, I'm sure, to edit videos and stuff. And at this point in my life, I just don't have that kind of time to do that. Just taking time to video or to record something for me is a big deal because I don't have a lot of time to do it, but I enjoy it because I like hopefully inspiring someone out there. I know these folks in YouTube and who have blogs that I go on all the time inspire me because I'll see what somebody's done and go, oh, that's really cool, and then want to make it my own. So, which is the point, right? And there's so many things I want to do. I've got ornaments out on my... I will be posting some blog posts soon about some ornaments I'm making. I got some other ones that are in process that I need to finish. And then I'm going to take pictures of some gifts later that I'm giving coworkers. But I have to finish them up. Okay, there you go. Now we need to do the embossing part of the card. So, taking... Now, when I'm doing this, I do really try to get this as straight as possible. But again, if it's not, I figure it's handmade, it's all good. Okay, so let me get my little embossing buddy out. Trying to cut down on the oils and things so that I don't have stray embossing powder everywhere. Then I do have my Versamark that I'm going to ink up. And like I said, there's too many things on my desk. Okay. And I probably will do this twice. I did that last time on the first one and it didn't make a difference because it doesn't seem to have much Versamark on it. And that's what I love about these stamping tools is that you can come back and get back at exactly in the same place. Because I don't care how hard I tried with a block, even if I could see through it. I was never very good at that. Okay. Alrighty. Let me wipe off my stamp before I take it off. Done with that for tonight. Okay. And yes, I'm usually this clumsy. It is true. Everybody has their own way of doing this. This is the way I've always done embossing powder, and that's just a folded sheet of paper. Pour it all over. Ooh, there's a lot of extra embossing powder. Okay, not too bad. And then I just take my paper and my bottle and gather it right back in. That way, I am done with it. Alright. I do try to, well, this is not some flip center. There's more on this side. Oh, Lordy. Oh, well. It is what it is. There's the magic happening. Another thing that happens when I'm embossing is I tend to not miss a part and not melt it all the way. And so I try very hard to do that differently. Now with this card, because this is a little warped, you can see it's warped. So I'm going to use some really strong tape on that. But for this layer, I can just use my tape runner. How many of you have, I don't know, 4 or more different types of adhesives? I do. I can't say it for everybody, but I have glue dots and all kinds of Ranger Multi-Matte Medium. I have Tombow. I have my little Zig pen that I was showing you. You name it, I've got it, man. Because you never know what you're going to need. Okay. So like I said, this is a little warped. So what I do to, oops, sorry, guys, combat that is I just use some really strong sticky tape, because that way I know it's going to lay down pretty well. Ooh, sorry. I've got to be hilarious when you're watching these videos. Going, oh, she's the most clumsy person in the world, and I am. That's okay. I'm clumsy, but I love what I do, which is give really cool cards to people. Now, if you have a little bit of overhang, I don't usually worry about that much, because I'll just tuck it in on itself, and that works for me. I do burnish the tape in hopes that it's easier to pick up. So there's a little bit there, a little bit there. And I see people use tools to get their backing out their tape. I could do that, but I don't. I usually just use my fingernail. That's part of the reason I burnish them so well, is because I want to make sure it sticks really well and make it a little easier to take the tape off. Okay, so this I'm just going to try to center as best I can, considering I didn't center the sentiment. And there you have it. All done. So, it took me 32 minutes to do this, even with some things pre-done. But if you did an assembly line, I think you would get really quick at it, and you would knock these out in no time. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. And thank you so much for stopping by. Bye.